Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I'm going to yield to my friend from California as much time as he may consume.
Thank you very much to my friend from Arizona. Mr. Speaker, in 2010, California voters overwhelmingly voted to establish a Citizens Redistricting Commission. The voters said, we want to take the process of drawing district lines out of the hands of politicians. They said that voters should choose their politicians. Politicians shouldn't choose their voters. And that commission has drawn our district lines through the last 2 rounds of redistricting. And yet now, the governor of California has announced a plan to abolish the Citizens Redistricting Commission and to seize its powers for himself. He initially proposed simply ignoring the commission, ignoring the Constitution, and overriding his maps with those that he and the legislature drew. But apparently someone told him that that would get immediately struck down in court. So now what they are plotting is a special election where they will use confusing ballot language and other means of deception to try to convince voters, to fool voters, into dismantling the very independent commission that they recently established. And the point of this is that the governor would like to reduce the representation of Republicans in Congress in our state to 3 members out of 52, so that Republicans will hold 6% of the seats, even though Republicans typically get over 40% of the vote in statewide elections. It could be the single most egregious act of corruption in the history of our state. And you don't need to take my word for that. You can take the word of Common Cause, which is a group that typically almost always aligns with Democrats on elections and voting issues, whose executive director said, quote, point blank, it is a dangerous move. Or you can take the words of Patricia Sine, who is a Democrat serving on the Citizens Redistricting Commission, who said the very purpose of the state's independent redistricting commission is to protect voters from partisan power grabs like this. If this were to succeed, it would set a dangerous precedent for suppressing voters across the nation. Mr. Speaker, this is a moment for every Californian and every American of decency, regardless of party affiliation, to speak out against the abject corruption that our governor is attempting. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to recognize Heather and Jeremy Reynolds, the first and second place winners of the 69th annual Tevis Cup, a grueling 100-mile endurance trail ride from Roby Park to Auburn, held on July 12th of this year. This year's competition proved even more challenging than usual, with the heat and rocky road providing unforgiving conditions for all competitors. Of the 105 entrants, only 43 were able to complete the ride to Auburn. However, the couple persevered through, crossing the finish line in 17 hours and 45 minutes. Over the span of more than 20 years of competitive riding, the two have accumulated countless awards, including 8 Tevis Cups and 5 Hagen Cups. Despite their many accolades, the one challenge they had never conquered was crossing the finish line together. In this year's competition, they did, crossing the finish line with their hands joined together, marking an astounding new achievement that's been a goal of theirs for over 2 decades. Together, Heather and Jeremy Reynolds embody perseverance, teamwork, and competitive excellence. Their achievement serves not just as personal fulfillment, but also as an inspiration to their peers, fellow competitors, and our community at large. It is an honor to represent remarkable individuals, such as Heather and Jeremy in Congress. Therefore, on behalf of the United States House of Representatives, I proudly extend my heartfelt congratulations to Heather and Jeremy Reynolds for their exceptional athletic achievement at the 69th Annual Tevis Cup, and commend them for their unwavering dedication to the tradition and sport of equine endurance riding. With that, I yield back to the representative, my friend from Arizona.
Thank you to my friend